Okay. Just making sure chat room stuff is okay, etc. Think we're all good. So, without further ado, adieu to you and me, too. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway. Hello, hi, yo, etc. etc. I plan on doing some writing today. I'd like to try and get this chapter I've been working on done. I've been kind of like wishy-washy with motivation for my writing, so I want to do something. And then clap. Clap, clap, clap. For the sake of making it slightly more interesting, I added my my typey manga stuff. It says kata. Kata. I didn't used to know what it said, but now I do. Look. Oh, wait, no, I forgot I had hotkeys on. Ignore that. Ignore that. I assure you, that didn't happen. I should have done it when I was on here. Then I would have done it normally. See, it does the thing. It does the thing. It's very cool. It's just a little clacky symbol that pops up. But I thought it might be more interesting to look at than what I got already. So what I'm thinking is, should I just proofread everything I have so far? Or should I just go for word count, finish what I got so far here, and then proof and edit it? Because I'm almost done with this chapter, is the thing. I'm like almost at 4,000 words with it, I think. Yeah, we're at 3,802 words for this chapter. I tried to make every chapter at least 5,000 words. Roughly. Like the 3 to 5 area is a good size for a chapter, I always feel like. So... let's first check where we left off. I think I will do the let's try and get some words on paper. Let's try and get some words on pooper. Pooper? No, paper. Okay, so right now our character Claire is having existential crisis, as we love to put them in. They were just having a panic attack, so they ditched out of the ballroom and are now confronted by their bodyguard, Samuel, is where we left off. So, to reiterate, Claire's eyes flicker to life. Like a light had switched on, she jostles in place and stares at a pair of red eyes looking back at her. What? Patting herself quickly, everything was there. Samuel? The well-dressed guard gives a soft smile and slowly pulls his hand back. I knew that'd work. You're awake then, right? A strange question from a strange guard. Claire nods. Of course, I asked your name after all. I wouldn't be able to speak if I wasn't awake. Slowly, Samuel stands back up and offers his hand. I suppose that's true. The wistful look in his eyes make Claire's heart hurt. Maybe he was looking forward being an escort. Claire takes his hand and stands up, her feet wobbling from her heels. Careful now, I know you're not used to it. We can get rid of that. I don't need to actually proofread right now, but giving myself an idea of where I left off. Okay. Let's see. How do I want to phrase this? I didn't put them in a hallway, right? not thinking that the wrong way? Okay, I'm back up to speed. You can make your model type? Oh, yeah. Why not? See, it does the clack. Oh, I did it again. I did it again. Pretend you didn't see that. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. What I meant to say is, see, you can see it clack clack. And it says kata. I'm just making the sound effect for typing though. I mean, for this 3D model, you can do it for controller also. See? I mean, this controller is really big, but you know, you can press the buttons on it and all that stuff, and use the joysticks and all that. People have better ones, but I mean, it does what it's supposed to, I guess. Put that hand down. There you go. It's not like I have full tracking or anything like that. Nothing fancy like that. This is just a 3D avatar that I edited with Vroid, where it kind of just gives you like a template. And I did draw over this one myself, but it is a template for like the bone structure and stuff. I was proud of how I drew the eyes, though. Not that you can really see them in this, but they look very tired. If I zoomed in very far, you can see that they have like dark circles under them. Yeah, for your spiderling model, I don't know how I'd handle that. I've tried to edit 2D models before, and I kind of know how to do it, but I also don't know how to draw well enough to make a 2D model. I made a little slime fella for a second, but it didn't look very good. It looked more like an emoji or something, which I guess can work to some extent, but it didn't look very nice. I made it like a lava lamp. I made a lava lamp avatar in 2D. Now what am I gonna do with a lava lamp avatar? I should have just like gotten a lava lamp PNG and put it over my avatar. Maybe that would have worked better. Me looking wistfully off to the side going like, wait, maybe I should do that. Who knows? Maybe eventually. Agreed that I haven't used my avatar much lately. When I've been doing video games, I just decide, I may as well just not do anything with the avatar stuff. Might as well just keep it game. Because I'm not always that talkative when I'm playing games anyway. But for stuff like this, I figure might as well have something in the corner. When I'm doing like Japanese practice or when I'm actually writing, might as well. Something to stare at when I'm not talking much. I'm doing my best to write. Chapter 6 will be completed. Hopefully. Thanks for popping in also. I appreciate it. Let's see. We'll fix it up later. I shouldn't dawdle. How long is this paragraph so far? It's kind of long. Wait, did I make her eyes green? I forget. I think I made her eyes green. Did I write it down in my document? Hang on, gotta check. Just gotta check. Checky check. Mistwalker, 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 Mistwalker. I mean, I wrote about what she is. I didn't write what her... I think it's time for control... Well, not control. F3? No, F5. It's F5. Okay, I did. She does. Ministry. Love sign. Yes. Hello, unicorn. You gotta stare back. You gotta stare back. Got all these emotes, I gotta use them for something. Even though that I took like 5 minutes to edit that. Clouds look pretty cool today, out my window. A stark contrast to this nighttime diversion that my characters are partaking in. Did I make Anna's hair blonde also? Pretty sure I did. Or did I make it black? I might have to go back and correct that, but we'll check later. That's alright. Anyways. Then okay. I am typing up a storm right now. It's at least working. We're going for the old word count right now. We'll worry about the corrections later. I'm kind of curious what my length is right now, though. How much did I already type? It doesn't feel like I did too much, but... Okay, so we're about to hit the 5,000 mark. We're about to hit 5,000. So we did about like 1,000 words. So this one's definitely going to go over that. I mean, with proofing and editing, maybe it'll be more or less around that area, but I think it'll go a little over. see. Look. here. We'll play with that right now. Yep. I was waiting for this moment. We love the drama. We love the drama. Rivalry? Rivalry. Revelry in the dark. Rivalry. Should I just end the chapter there? Do I make the ball scene 2 chapters? I don't know. Probably could. No, I can make it longer. Let's do it this way. Okay. Big stretch. How do you spell it? Sparkle. I guess it is that. I don't know. Oh yeah, it was just the L. It was just the L. Oh, wrong buttons. Hmm. Oops. Didn't mean to hit that. How do you spell that? Hmm. Think of that. Big what? Reindeer. The times when you don't enjoy writing it. Well, that was a doozy. That was a doozy. Do I end it there? I might end it there. $6,000 words. I think that's fine. I feel like that would be a good place to cap it off. You know, leave on kind of like a cliffhanger. And then try and have things resolve in Chapter 7. That might work better. I have a lot to fix in this chapter, though. Nidhogg's Lair. A massive room said to originally be used by Nidhogg himself. The room was a throne room, though now acts as a grand chamber to host events within the capital. The latest grand event it hosts is the Crown Princess's Ball. The event is so grand, even Shinryu Manor's ballroom has been opened. The Manor's ballroom is open to the public. Commoners are even allowed to select donated clothes from nobles and enjoy their evening with a taste of the noble life. Claire, though, experienced little when she came to the world. Claire, though, experienced little since she came to the world. Commoners most likely experienced more than she has. Sitting in the Penumbra family carriage with her mother and father, she could only ponder the events she's experienced recently. Her memories are scattered. She can remember her life from original worlds. However, despite being 29 years old, when she tries to think back to her life as a child when she first came to the world, she draws a blank. Staring out the carriage window, she can only linger on the thoughts. Why did she only start thinking about such things at the start of last month? Sweetie, Claire's mother smiles gently and brushes her warm hand against Claire's cheek. We've arrived. The carriage stops, and a knight opens the carriage door. A tan-skinned knight extends his hand and helps Claire's mother down, and Claire's father steps down without assistance. Okay, sweetie. Claire really does have far too much to think on. Claire really does have far too much to think of. Even her mother's words feel different than they used to. Hold Samuel's hand and step down carefully. I wouldn't want you to slip. If those heels give you trouble later, let me know. The light-hearted tone Claire's mother uses feels uncomfortable. Of course, Mother. Again. And oh. Claire clears her throat. Even now, she can still hear the original's voice in her head. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. For whatever reason, only Claire can hear its voice. Probably for the best, right? Only hearing the voice since yesterday left many questions, which seems you need to fill in the blanks yourself. Sorry. Though for now, she has not tried to harm Claire. She even seems to want to protect her, almost out of guilt. I'll do what I can. Sir Samuel. Claire takes the knight's hand, but keeps her eyes down. He steps onto the ground. It was starting to happen again, just as a voice that said, just as the voice had said. Claire's body fidgets nervously, her voice hard to keep from stuttering, and now unable to make eye contact. The knight grins and flourishes their cape out. Claire can at least see the knight's clothes. His garb is rather lavish, to suit an imperial ball, though the clothing itself is black, with a few simple red jewels on their cuffs, and a long sword at their hip, with a black hilt and ruby butt. Lady Claire. Well, Lady Claire is what I was going for there. The knight takes a knee, with Claire's hand still in his. Then he lifts Claire's hand to his lips and gives her middle knuckle a soft kiss. Gloved middle knuckle, a soft kiss. I'll be ensuring your safety this evening. Simply call my name and I'll come. The knight's head tilts up, keeping his grin, his gleaming red eye shining back to Claire. With the gesture done, the knight brushes his short brown hair back and stands. Now, Sir Samuel, make sure not to overstep. Claire's mother glares at the knight, a fan unfolding from between her fingers to cover her mouth. A soft sigh leaves the knight's lips, and he steps from Claire's path. Of course, Countess. I'm simply making sure no men take their chances, as you asked. The knight's build seems strong to Claire's eye, though the shoes he wears are elevated. Something no eye contact lets you notice. It must be to make himself taller, since Claire and him appear similar heights. For now, Claire has no reason to worry about it, so she steps along the carpet, which leads to the entrance of Nidhogg's lair. Well, Mother... Claire's mother smiles, maybe because her daughter's stuttering is cute to her. I'm sure Sir Samuel will do his job. Pausing again, Claire takes a small breath to make sure she speaks clearly and formally. At a ball, she must speak formally like she was taught. Father, I hope you don't mind me borrowing Mother's arm. Claire's father shakes his head. It's fine. It is your first event, after all. Shall we? The group of three begin to walk to the door. Claire cannot tell where exactly the knight went. If a guard, hiding? In many stories, night guards would act like ninjas watching their mistress carefully to always protect them from a distance. For now, Claire will have to address that problem later. Meaning your fox could prove hard with something watching over you. Slipping her arm around her mother's, family reaches the door of Nidhogg's lair. Two guards standing in front of the doors open them wide. I just say door. Both of their spears hit the ground, and they shout in unison. Countess and Count Penumbra have arrived. The Countess's daughter, Lady Claire, in tow. Claire Penumbra in tow. Claire's yellow eyes widen, almost sparkling with wonder, as they grasp the sight before them. A large staircase, which leads to an open hall to look over the banister to the floor below. The sparkling marble floor with dragon wings etched into it. The golden wings appear to be some sort of insignia as far as Claire can tell. Large marble columns, tables with food and drink, chairs and couches for wallflowers, side rooms to freshen up or gossip. So many of the sights Claire had read over and over, described in different novels. She reads, though it paled in comparison to the real thing. It does not even account for the people. Short, fat, tall, thin, lanky, elegant, refined, balding, grumpy, pretty. All types of people walk the first floor, and more walk the second. Some go to rooms, some walk out, some wave fans in front of themselves. Others step out onto the balcony giggling with a partner. It's just like the novels. Claire's whisper gained a soft tug from her mother. It was time to be quiet for now. Claire makes sure she stands straight, chest pushed out, one foot in front of the other. Her hips even sway with each step following her mother's footsteps. Not many eyes stare at them, but Claire notices a few older, There's a few older and younger people glance to her specifically. There's a few older and younger people glance at her. Still the Penumbras are a Countess family. No, worth noting too much attention. Now then, make sure you're a good girl, alright, sweetie. Claire's mother smiles. Her usual warm smile, and turns away from her enchanted daughter. I know you're probably excited to see things. Just come back to me if you're overwhelmed. Taking another step forward, Claire's mother tilts her head back and smiles as if looking over Claire's shoulder. I'll trust you do the proper thing. For once, Claire was left alone in a public setting. Her eyes glance over the room, watching people walk by, some even graze shoulders. It was certainly a crowded event. It is certainly a crowded event, mostly due to the fact the central dance floor is left open for people to dance when music begins. Still, what happened to Father? Does that really matter now? You need to find your fox. Claire bites at her lip. She still is unsure if the voice in her head is really helping her or not. Its words so far have not harmed her, but they have certainly left her stressful. Still, gripping her hands against the side of her dress, her yellow eyes begin to scan over the ballroom. I do want to find her. It'd be easier for her to find me though, right? The Marcus now enters. Claire pivots on her heel instantly to look at the wall. He wouldn't bother me. Pushing past a few of the people. Pushing past a few people. Some of the other wallflowers glance toward Claire with a scoff. That, however, did not bother her as much as a possible even more awkward interaction. There's more than one Marcus anyway, right? What if he was already here? Wait, but that means the Duke would be here too, right? That only makes sense. Lifting her finger to her lips, she nibbles at the side of her index finger and dips into one of the hallways along the wall. Slowly, the collection of voices begins to quiet. Holding the middle of her chest, she takes a long breath and leans against the wall. I never really thought I'd feel that nervous. This nervous? Much. Mother, blah blah blah. Hang on. That's fine. That's good. Enters. Clack, clack, clack. Claire could feel her heart begin to race again. No, calm down. That's from dress shoes, not heels. The nervous girl's heart races more, but she does her best not to begin to pant. Excuse me, lady. Marcus Aurus gives a quick nod and walks right by Claire, back into the ballroom. Looked as if he had stepped in the bathroom. Thump thump, thump thump. Wait. Hang on. Great feeler that begins to race. Shoes. The nervous girl's heart races. More. Does her best. Excuse me, lady. Marcus Aurus gives a quick nod, walks right by Claire. Claire into the ballroom. It looks as if he stepped from the bathroom. Thump thump, thump thump. Wait! Claire takes a few steps back into the main room and grabs Marcus's arm. How was she doing it? I think it was curiosity. He was going to simply walk by and not even address her. It's not like they were strangers, even if they parted on bad terms. What was it, my mother? The man stops and turns around, a confused look in his eyes. He slowly removes Claire's hand from his jacket, shakes his head, and glancing Claire over. This is our first meeting, isn't it, my lady? What does your mother have? Claire's body shakes. Her breath stops. The sounds around her silence. Turning on her heel, she runs back down the empty hall. Does not look back. No. She managed to get the words out. She turns the corner and presses her back against the hall's wall. Sliding down it, she grabs her head and begins to pant. No. No, it can't be that bad. No. And then... No, I don't want to hear it. Silence wraps around her in recognition. A familiar silence. One she always hated. Yet it was always there for her. Did I ever leave my room? Question hangs in the air. Though as usual, nothing responds back to her. Nothing responds back. Not the voice in her head, not the supposed guard following her around. Just nothing. Now entering our final guest, Emperor something something. When I was writing it, I forgot what I named the Emperor. David Pethos. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. Emperor David Pethos, and the once Archduchess, now Crown Princess. Was that the right name for her? I don't think I gave her a middle initial. Did I? Elizabeth Shard. We can add the initial. Now entering our final guest, Emperor David Pethos and the once Archduchess, now Crown Princess, Elizabeth L. Shard. And the crowd goes wild. The crowd of people in Nidhogg's lair cheer and clap. Slow music begins to build over the room, each step forward. Each step the Emperor takes to the podium in front of the grand stairs. Our empire lay divided some time. David's voice booms. Ballroom. The chat stops. Everyone present turns attention to the Emperor. Did I capitalize it before? I'll probably need to check that again, but for now we'll just focus on the main edits. Okay, now it'll bother me. I capitalized it. We're gonna still do that. We're gonna still do that. Okay. A crowd of people in Nidhogg's lair cheer and clap. slow music begins to build over the room. Each step the Emperor takes to the podium in front of the grand stairs. Our empire lay divided some time. For some time, David's voice booms over the ballroom, and the chatter stops. Everyone present turns their attention to the Emperor. In the past, our people dealt with the ambitions of Astaria. The territory of Lorfil then evolved into the kingdom. I could actually do it like this. The territory of Lorfil then evolved into the kingdom of Drakon. No, I shouldn't do that. I'm gonna make myself confused if I do that. I'll do Drake Oria. The territory of Lorfil then evolved into the kingdom of Dracoria. And with the years of effort, Gokvelor joined our united empire. Of Dracoria, the banners of old territories, Holfrost, Gokvelor, and Lorfil, finally together. Our continent is united under one flag, and we can say we're stronger for it with pride. The Emperor slams his fist against the podium, and several people clap and shout till he raises his hand in the air. Till he raises his hand to quiet them back down. Now in my age, I've decided to name our next future leader. She's proven herself time and time again to strive off the monsters that often breed at Valtar's edge. She protected Yggdrasil with her life, and people on the line. Now the North thrives. Crown Princess, if you please. Elizabeth steps into the center of the ballroom, her purple eyes scanning over the crowd of people. Today she wears a decorative sword on her side, like what she saw Mistwalker wear. Her dress is a dark purple gown with an almost star-layered pattern cascading to the floor. With her long gloved hands, she takes a knee before the Emperor and grabs the hilt of her sword. The crowd whispers softly, watching the strong-armed princess. Rests the point of her sword hilt against the ground. It was the knight's bow, though used by any of the higher-ranked warriors. Emperor, my sword is yours, and it shall be the Empire's as well. People begin to whisper again, while clapping. Clearing her throat, Elizabeth looks back over the crowd. Her eyes cannot help but notice Countess Penumbra. The crowd. Let me just make sure I do this right. Her eyes cannot help but notice Countess Rebecca Penumbra in the crowd. Though do not mistake my words to be that of a tyrant. I'll protect our people when needed, though I wish to guide us down prosperity as well. I hope those overseeing lands will help Me to ensure, to enact policies, laws, and taxation implementation that will make our land stand tall. I know we'll have hardships at times, but I hope our empire will remember a country is only a country thanks to its people. Several more people clap, but many more still whisper. The Emperor, however, cares not and speaks over the noise. Good. You speak well, daughter of the Empire. Now, for your service at Holfrost, and for protecting Lothrin for so long, I wish to grant you a reward. The Crown Princess's position is one matter, though you should get something else for your service, beside more work. Few of the people in the crowd laugh, and just the same, the Emperor keeps a more light-hearted smile on his lips. Elizabeth's eyes stare off towards the Countess's direction. The Count now behind her. A reward. Well, as I've been battling for so long, I've always wished to take on a partner, though I've had little time to socialize. Is it possible I request marriage? A few gasps raised from the crowd, and some of the men adjust their collars. The Emperor rolls his eyes, yet raises an eyebrow in interest. Many wish to marry into the royal family. Whomever you wish to wed, it shall be passed with an imperial decree. Though I'm no monster, you'll have to ensure your partner agrees to it. Agrees at the very least. Some in the crowd nodded, Some in the crowd nod, and a few sigh in relief. Though the parents' permission will not be a factor, the Emperor winks at Elizabeth, and she gives a soft smile back in kind. Now which man caught your fancy to bring up such a request? More whispers begin to rise from the crowd, and Elizabeth shakes her head to silence them. Actually, Emperor, it's a woman I fancy. A beautiful lady of a noble house, actually. Old women and younger alike begin to look around bashfully, some fanning themselves, others trying to push up through the crowd. So my request is for the Penumbra family. Countess Penumbra's face is covered by her own fan. Elizabeth watches carefully, but her expression seems to not change. Her husband, on the other hand, looks rather upset. The well-guarded flower of high society is just far too much to pass up. I'm sure many soldiers would agree. The crowd begins to grow louder with gossip, and the Emperor once again hits his fist loudly against the podium. I've heard enough. My words are what I stand by. I'll write the paperwork tonight. Though it's up to you, Crown Princess, to wow this lady you fancy so. The Emperor steps off the podium and walks the stairs, looking over the crowd. Now then, enjoy the party tonight. Have your fill of food. Have your fill of food, drink, and dance. Try not to crowd the Crown Princess too much. Now, unlike you young people, I'll be off for the night. Some in the crowd laugh and chuckle, and the Emperor leaves, his attendant following quickly behind, already writing on a clipboard. The music now begins. People begin to get loud with gossip and dance. Many more people begin to gather around the Crown Princess, to her own dismay. Please, wait a moment, alright? Elizabeth pushes past the crowd and stumbles right into Baroness Mistwalker. Fancy seeing you right away. Rolling her eyes, Miss Walker wraps an arm over Elizabeth's shoulder and raises her voice. Oh, that's right. That time you killed the snow wyvern. Slowly she begins to walk to the wall. To the walls of the ballroom. But the ploy works to get many of those gatherings in. You're not good at this society thing, huh? Rolling her eyes, Elizabeth shakes her head. I commanded people, I bite, I shoot fire and stab. Sometimes I slash. Now to the wall, Elizabeth sighs, looking out at the people dancing, center of the room. But thanks, you're not here with your wives. Shaking her head, Miss Walker leans back against the wall. Nah. They just got themselves settled in, really. And both aren't too uppity about parties. Though my one sweetheart, Lynn, was asking me to go crash the commoner's ball with her. So I'll probably do that after midnight. What about you? Where is this mystery girl all soldiers pine for? Nudging Elizabeth teasingly, with a toothy smile. Nudging Elizabeth teasingly with a toothy smile. Help but sigh. Okay. Nudging Elizabeth teasingly with a toothy smile. Princess cannot help but sigh. Hey, don't go sighing. Annabelle snorts and shakes her head. Look, Amelia asked me to check in on you. Said you need help for your plan. I'm a noble, I can get in. Not that many here looking for Annabelle Mistwalker. Lady Annabelle, is it? Countess Penumbra closes her fan and offers her hand to the Baroness. A pleasure to meet you. I believe I've heard about you. Lady Annabelle. Annabelle calmly shakes. Careful not to... Annabelle calmly shakes the hand before her, careful not to squeeze it. The twitch in Rebecca's eyes make it seem she expects more formal from a knight. Annabelle, however, does not mind showing bitterness in her words. I've heard of the Penumbra family. Though please, most just call me Miss Walker, Dame or Baroness. I know I do not fit the best in formal settings. So I hope I don't sour the mood for a refined countess like yourself. Shaking her head, Countess Penumbra glances toward Elizabeth, stays focused on Miss Walker. Now that you mention it, as I recall, the Miss Walker family guarded Ravenbreak for generations. Both the princess and Miss Walker failed to chime in, so Rebecca continues for her slowly gathering audience. Yes, actually, the family was fallen for some time, though Dame Miss Walker, your mercenary group climbed the ranks, and your family once again gained a noble title. You should be proud of yourself. Miss Walker's eye twitches, and her fist tightens around the hilt of her decorative sword. Yes. Elizabeth finally chimes in, patting Miss Walker's shoulder. Restrains herself. Elizabeth finally chimes in, patting Miss Walker's shoulder to ensure the woman restrains herself. For her talents, I decide to make her my lady-in-waiting. I do have others in mind, though the Emperor showed her as one of... Though when the Emperor showed her as one of the candidates, I knew I needed her as part of my people. Not only does she have strength, but she also has the respect of the people of Ravenbreak. We're both not yet used to how the capital runs things, though I'm sure together we'll absorb the culture of high society. It was Ravenbreak, right? I didn't get that wrong, did I? Yeah, it's Ravenbreak. Making sure I get the names right. Countess Penumbra opens her fan to cover her lips once again. She nods slowly and glances between the two women. Well, Crown Princess Shard, I cannot say I expected such a declaration at this ball. When speaking of your people, I admit Dame Miss Walker is an appealing candidate. I thought of her myself in the past. Miss Walker's eyes twitch again, and her grip around her hilt grows ever tighter. I was going to suggest my daughter possibly being considered for the position. Yet there you were, declaring your desire to marry her. The Countess's eyes narrow on Elizabeth. You do know this is my daughter's first public appearance, do you not? I can understand curiosity, though. Elizabeth steps in front of Miss Walker and stands only a few steps away from Countess Penumbra. I'm aware it's her first public appearance. Does that make her any less beautiful? Several of the women who had gathered hold their hands over their mouths, several blushing. I don't mean to offend any with my desire, though as the Emperor declared, it will be up to your daughter to decide herself what she thinks. Turning away from the Countess, Elizabeth nudges her head at Annabelle, and they both leave down the nearest hall. People continue to talk and chatter, and slowly, surely, Annabelle and Elizabeth find themselves alone. Gosh, she's such a bitch. Annabelle scoffs and kicks her foot at the wall. I can't believe her. She was almost saying out loud that she knows what happened. Pounding her fist, Annabelle grits her teeth. I thought her husband was bad enough, but what an old bitchy brat. All I want to do is punch that woman right in the face. Elizabeth sighs and pats Annabelle's back. I understand the feeling. Clearing her throat, she looks down the hall back to the sea of people. I need to find Claire. It's gonna help. Her eyes cannot help but notice Rebecca in the crowd, still waving her fan slowly. I need to find Claire. Her eyes cannot help but notice Rebecca in the crowd, still waving her fan slowly. Counter stares, as if tracking Elizabeth through the crowd. Rolling her eyes, Annabelle puts a hand on her hip. Let me guess, I'm helping. Elizabeth nods. Look, I get liking women. Who doesn't? Though, does it have to be a woman from the Penumbra family? Elizabeth's eyes give off a faint purple glow. She's not like that. Even now the Countess wants to watch us. I'm glad the crowd is thick enough to obscure us to this. Click. Miss Walker slides back against. Clink. Miss Walker slides back against the hard floors, her hand grasping her sword's hilt slightly taken out from its sheath. Both the woman's eyes hold a soft glow, though Elizabeth's far brighter. Elizabeth's as far as brighter. Annabelle scoffs again and pushes her sword back into its sheath. You scared me for a moment, standing up. Standing up straight, lady in waiting, brushes some hair behind her ear. Fine. Fine. You're letting your power flow too much, though. It's making me jumpy. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Not like I even met her yet. She better not be as twisted as those two. Glow in her eyes begins to fade. Elizabeth nods, and her eyes slowly fade to their regular purple. She has blue hair and yellow eyes. As far as I know, not exactly a common combination. I'll be looking for her as well. Closing her eyes, Elizabeth begins to rub her chin, humming softly to herself in thoughts. I think I have a plan. I think I have a plan, at least to make sure Rebecca there doesn't bother us. And then tap, 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 tap. No. Claire's eyes flicker to life. Like a light switched on, she jostles in place and stares at a pair of red eyes looking back at her. Now, we're back to where we started. What? Patting herself quickly, everything was there. Patting herself quickly, nothing is out of place. Nice. Samuel, the well-dressed guard, gives a soft smile and slowly pulls his hand back. I knew that'd work. Your work then, right? Strange question. Strange guard, Claire nods. Of course, I asked your name after all. I wouldn't be able to speak if I wasn't, like... Slowly, Samuel stands back up and offers his hand. I suppose that's true. A wistful look in his eyes makes Claire's heart hurt. Makes Claire's heart hurt. Maybe he was looking forward to being an escort. Claire takes his hand and stands up. Her feet wobbling from her heels. Takes his hand and stands up. And stands, her feet wobbling from her heels. Careful now, I know you're not used to it. Leaning against the wall, Claire stares hazily past Samuel. The hall has windows on the side. On the side Claire fled to. She can see a garden, maybe a courtyard of some kind, depending on where she was. Whispering softly, Claire squeezes the side of her arm. Why must she keep feeling so conflicted? Whatever she was thinking, the fact of the matter is, she is at a party. Her not being present would be questioned with time. Suppose I need to get back to the ball. Samuel's eyes narrow, his hand reaching toward Claire for a moment, but then reeling back. Take your time. The guests are allowed to explore the halls. They have the main castle areas walled off. Everywhere you're allowed to go is simply part of Nidhogg's lair. Giving a soft nod, Claire presses her hand against the wall and finally stabilizes herself, one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other, and she turns the hall. She turns down the adjacent hall. And she turns down the adjacent hall. Did I say adjoining? Turns down the adjoining hall. The guests still chatter, gossip, some begin to talk. Some begin to talk to one another by the hall. By the hall exit, then leave to the dance floor. Music had started. Claire yet again has no idea how much time passed. That's fine. If I go back, I'd be okay. I'd be okay. Yeah, that's fine. Brushing some hair behind her ear, she tilts her head back as if waiting for Samuel to answer. But Samuel is no longer behind her. Ceiling over sides, the night appeared to vanish. Ceiling over her sides. Halls were all empty. The night appeared to vanish. When I talked to him, he has to be real, right? Claire's eyes look down. Look down at her hands. And gloves now line them to match her dress. She was not leaving gloves when she first entered. Did he? Because I was biting them. Claire continues back down the hall and peeks her head where the wallflower's shoulders that stand at the entrance. Claire continues silently back down the hall and peeks her head over the wallflower's shoulders that stand at the stand at the exit. People dance and sway. A few servants walk back with a podium in hand behind the stairs. Oh, or rather, a muscular woman smirks as soon as she catches Claire's eye. Yeah, that's the thing I have to look up. Okay, yeah, I did. I wanted to make sure that Annabelle's hair was the same color as Elizabeth's. Where was I? Samuel, blah blah blah. Okay, there we go. The woman's dirty blonde hair and green eyes do not stand out striking, though the sword at the woman's hip does. She pushes past the crowd easily, and before Claire even gets a word in, the woman nods cheerfully to herself. You must be Lady Penumbra. Claire nods to the strange woman before her. The others that have greeted her do not seem so well built. Claire's body shivers. Just as usual, suddenly her voice stumbles over itself. It's not like she was nervous right now. She already dealt with okay. She already dealt with one situation. She has to be fine now. If she made a fool of herself, Claire's mother would certainly be upset. Claire? Yes, I'm Claire Penumbra. You? The woman's eyes do not look into Claire's. From what Claire assumed, it seemed the woman was looking at her fingers instead. Indeed. Clearing her throat, the woman gives a slight curtsy at the side of her form-fitting dress. Baroness Miss Walker, at your service. Although you may call me Annabelle. Of course, some warriors tend to refer to me as just Miss Walker. I doubt the lady has held a blade, though. Claire nods quietly in response, and Annabelle's eyes keep locked on Claire's hands. Maybe Annabelle likes the design of the gloves. Would you mind a word with me, Lady Penumbra? Claire looks over her shoulder, but no one No, no one stands behind her. Same as before. Looking back at Annabelle, she nods. Certainly. Making sure to take a short breath, Claire does her best to make her voice come out clear. Would be my pleasure, Baroness. Claire offers her hand to Annabelle, and the warrior smirks. Then, the crowd parts for the Baroness. Then, okay. Annabelle takes Claire's hand in her own. The crowd parts for the Baroness, as if afraid to deal with a woman of her intimidating figure. Annabelle takes Claire's hand on her own. I can just say takes her hand. Annabelle takes Claire's hand. How about one of the balconies? Claire once again nods silently in confirmation, and the two walk upstairs from the corner of Claire's eye. She sees her mother walking to another dirty blonde-haired woman. It seemed like, even as one dismisses the other, they keep having more to say, that or maybe they're in the same social circle. Here we are. Annabelle opens the balcony door at the far left corner of the staircase. And allows Claire to walk outside first. The door is shut, and Annabelle leans against it and gestures her hand to the small table and chair so Claire may sit. Please, have a seat. Claire smooths the back of her dress and sits down carefully. She's glad right away. Looking out over the edge of the balcony, she has plenty of things to look at to avoid eye contact. The trees rustling to the soft wind of the night, the soft rustle of the leaves. Leaves on the ground. The orange coloring the trees made it rather clear it is getting closer to fall, or maybe it already is. How would I know? The orange coloring of the trees made it rather clear it is getting closer to fall, or maybe already is. Okay, there we go. Annabelle cocks an eyebrow and carefully backs away from the door, sitting down in the opposite chair. Your little buddy won't be here for a moment. Claire blinks a few times and peeks at Annabelle. You mean my escort? Annabelle nods and Claire clears her throat. Why exactly? Annabelle gestures to the view. This is the back gardens of the castle. I figured you were on a moment, and I have some questions for you, because I was curious. Annabelle's eyes once again look at Claire's hands. Though I think a lot of my questions were already answered. Sighing deeply, Annabelle leans back in her seat. I know who you were in an instant. You certainly stand out with a hair color like that, don't you? Whoa, that is not the right character. There you go. Claire's fingers sheepishly brush through her hair. I suppose. Her heart begins to thump. The way the person... The way... Annabelle... talks... It's like they... know her. No, it couldn't be. Talks is like they know her. Annabelle leans forward, her elbow against the table. Do you know what your family has been doing? Yep. Claire blurts out. The mimicking fox noise. Yep. Annabelle stares dumbfounded, unsure of what she was hearing. Yep. Claire nods her head to confirm the confirmation. Things were being understood correctly. Yep. Annabelle's head slowly turns, confused. More now than before. Are you alright, Lady Penumbra? Claire's cheeks slowly begin to turn red. What? I mean, you know what I mean, right? Annabelle shakes her head, placing her chin against her palm. You're certainly a strange one. I have no idea why you keep yipping like that. Does it mean something? Twirling her fingers together, Claire's heart begins to race, in a not-so-positive way. I didn't mean anything by it. Standing up, Claire goes right to the door and swings it open. I'm sorry to bother you, Baroness Mistwalker. I really must be going now. Annabelle stands, holding the door as it swings open. Hang on a moment, isn't there? There isn't any need to... Claire pushes past a few of the people in her way, and within a few moments, only the glimpses of her blue hair seen within the crowd. Annabelle sighs and shuts the door and sits back down. Well, that happened. Knock knock. 2 knocks. The door swings open once again. Crown Princess Elizabeth standing in the doorway. Where is she? Annabelle chuckles, rubbing the back of her neck. About that. Click-clack, click-clack. Downstairs, back down the hall. Back down the hall she had entered previously. Turning down the hall with windows, Claire holds her hand to her chest. She felt embarrassed. Being around so many people did not feel better either. Gosh, what am I even doing? Brushing her hand through her hair, she steps out the exit of the hall into what seems to be a courtyard after all. Some faint voices whisper, and a few people talk on the benches she passes. This event really is crowded. There's still people even out here. Claire stares at the ground as she walks. Her shoes are lovely, still sparkling. Her dress is unscuffed. Her dress is unscuffed, not long enough to touch the ground as to not dirty it. The ground itself looks to be some sort of stone, though it had been cut to give a more refined look befitting a castle. Bump. Then finally, Claire rams into a man and wobbles back, holding her nose. Aggie. She groans softly, and the man stifles a laugh. Huh? The voice, however, has a familiar tone to it. Claire's eyes glance up, and her body shivers once again. I'm sorry. Daniel dusts off the front of his jacket, and awkwardly offers his hand. You weren't hurt badly, were you, Lady Penumbra? I hadn't meant to walk into you. Claire's heart starts to beat faster. Though a pit in her stomach forms as well. Did she need to act like she did not know him as well? Does she... Yeah. Does she need to act like she does not know him as well? It's biting the inside of her mouth. It feels like she wants to cry. No. If she does not bite the inside of her mouth, she certainly will. She certainly will. It's alright, Marcus Saurus. Claire's gloved fingers twiddle over one another. Part of her wanted to be able to bite at the side of her finger. In a formal setting, it would have upset her mother if she did something like that. Though she did already, did she not? I was not looking where I was going. Forgive me. My thoughts are only making her more anxious. She has to say something. I was not looking where I was going. Forgive me. The man nods and begins to step past Claire. Sure enough, taking just 2 steps past Claire, he turns on his heel and quietly asks, "Are you alright, Lady Penumbra? Really?" Was she shaking too much? Why would he ask her such a question? Once is enough. Once is enough, isn't it? The other voice in her head should be telling her what to do in these situations. Why is it so quiet? I'm fine. Swallowing back spit, Claire takes a step forward to get further away. I'm just a bit lost in thought. Don't worry, my nose is fine. It is the perfect response. Maybe that's why the sound around her begins to fade. She takes another step forward and one after that. It is the same as normal. The bushes she had seen were gone from view. The fire she looked at became different. And suddenly her heels clack against a gazebo that was free. That is free. A few steps away from a fountain, she sits in the gazebo. Finally, no one is near her. Only the soft sound of wind brushing the plants. Calming sound of water filtering through the fountain to the spouts. I haven't even found her. Slam. Bang. Da-da. Claire's body shivers. It's something of a reflex at this point. It sounds like a door has been slammed. Maybe something has fallen over as well. You bitch. A man's voice raises. The sound of him spitting onto the ground rings in Claire's ear. Ears. Really? Come now. A wench like you won't find anyone better, you know. The man sounds harsh. It makes Claire's body tremble just hearing his words. Sharp to the point, yet a meaning as well. Someone who's entitled. Maybe that is the easiest way to define it. Rustle. The bushes rustle. And the man emerges from them, his eyes looking right into Claire. It is nighttime, though the man's eyes look black. Red shines against his face in the moonlight, an obvious hue against his pale skin. He wipes some blood off his lips and smirks faintly. Well, another lady greets me right away, doesn't she? The man appears intoxicated from what Claire can tell. Maybe that's why her body begins to tremble more. Her throat feels dry, and her eyes swell with tears. Yet she does not move. Oh? The man sits down on the opposite bench, his eyes still looking Claire over. Trained, are you? Really need more like you. Speak when spoken to. That's how it should be. It was like that back in my day. One of these types. The one she would see in novels. The types of people you hope are not real, but reality hands them to you regardless of your desire. Maybe it is punishment of some kind. Claire is doing too much without even... She's doing too much without even asking her mother. If it is okay. Can you just not speak at all? The man's hand reaches toward Claire, and her body instinctively flinches. Look at that. Gonna be like her too, is that so? You know I'm a Viscount, respected too. His hand reaches out again. Samuel stands above the now unconscious man. Movements so fast, Claire could barely process them. Scum. Samuel scoffs and pushes the bushes a bit to look through them. Looks like she left. Throwing the man over his shoulder, Samuel looks to Claire and sighs softly. Sorry I wasn't faster. I know you don't like to be around these types. Walking back to the bush, he simply tosses the man into them and offers his hand. Claire, come on, if you want to walk around, at least let me guide you. We should at least sit somewhere else. Claire places. And the two walk. Claire places her hand in Samuel's and the two walk. Claire remains silent. Simply thinking quietly. No matter how much she tries, the voice does not respond to her. Maybe I got tired of her dragging her feet. Maybe it is another trick. Slowly she sits down on another bench. She did not pay attention. She had not paid attention to how far they walked away from man. They were at a different fountain at the very least. The water does always sound calming. That never changes. Sir Samuel? Samuel quietly sits beside Claire, making sure to keep a distance between them. Even sitting. This time, he is the one that nods quietly. We walked around like this. Alright. Have we walked around like this before? Samuel's eyes. Samuel's head looks to the ground. No. Claire is not watching his facial expression this time. Part of her wonders what they look like. We haven't. This is the first time, Lady Claire. The two stare off at the fountain, quietly watching the water ripple against the moonlit sky. The two stare at the fountain, quietly watching water ripple against the moonlit sky. Yeah, that works. Zoom. Ooh, I'm getting sweaty. It's like 6,000 words. Sounds good to me. Oh gosh, I don't want to do this part. The part I don't want to do is getting all of the getting all of the spacing. Spacing is the annoying part. I guess for here I can do it. Noble. Story. Reincarnation. What do I tag this one with? I'm gonna post it on my Patreon now, so don't forget to. Romance TG. Okay. I think I put it in novel work. I don't remember. It should be fine. Okay. I'll do the other one in a little bit. Well, I did stream for 3 hours, so that's always nice. Also, sorry, I didn't notice if anyone was looking at the YouTube one. I stream on Twitch a lot, so don't always look at the YouTube stuff. I just started streaming to YouTube at the same time I'm doing streaming to Twitch, so forgive me for that. But thanks for any comments provided. This is a story I've been working on that's called Don't Say I Love You. I'm on chapter 6 of it so far. Just finished. Now I can actually make chapter 7, I guess. Make that black. Center. We're over the 30,000 word mark, so that's always nice. Over 30,000 words, 52 pages. We're getting there slowly but surely, right? Slowly but surely. Well, I wanted to finish chapter 6 and I managed to finish chapter 6, so I'm happy about that. It feels like there's so little compared to what there actually is. I always like to look at it in reading mode sometimes, just to feel. There's 81 pages in reading mode. Can I pat myself on the back for that? Well, I need to make sure I get this stuff posted up on DeviantArt also, so I guess I'm going to take care of that. For anyone who happened to stop in, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you like seeing me write random stuff, I suppose. I almost forgot I actually integrated the YouTube thing onto this part too. I probably should have paid attention to that more. I'm very bad at this. I try, sometimes. But anyway, yeah, gonna go for now. So, until next time, catch y'all later and all that good stuff. Hope y'all have a nice night, or day, or whatever time of day it is, etc.